All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of VR?
Always. I'm excited to check out these new headsets from Meta.
Me too. I've been hearing so much about the Quest 3 and Quest 3S.
Yeah, the hype is real, but what do they actually offer?
That's what we're here to find out. We're going beyond those flashy ads and diving deep into the specs, the features, and what users are actually saying.
Let's separate the virtual reality from the virtual marketing, right?
Exactly. So let's start with the Quest 3. It's being called a powerhouse of mixed reality. What exactly does that even mean?
Mixed reality is where the lines between the digital and physical worlds start to blur. Imagine you're streaming your favorite show, but on a giant virtual screen that you can adjust with your hands.
Okay, that's kind of cool. But would it be distracting?
That's where the Quest 3's advanced tech comes in. It blends the virtual and real seamlessly, so virtual objects feel like they're part of your space. Plus, think about the possibilities for work. Virtual whiteboards, interactive 3D models, training simulations.
Wait, hold on. Virtual surgery.
Well, maybe not brain surgery just yet, but you can see the potential, right? The Quest 3 isn't just for gaming. It's a whole new way to interact with information and the world around us.
So mixed reality is this blend of virtual and real that opens up all sorts of crazy possibilities. But what about the Quest 3's power?
Oh yeah, they're not messing around. Sharper graphics, faster performance, wider field of view. It's the most powerful Quest yet.
And what does that mean for the average user?
Think breathtaking visuals, feeling like you're actually in the experience, not just watching it. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, you've sold me on the visuals.
hmm
But I'm one of those people who gets motion sickness easily. How does the Quest 3 handle that?
Good question. The improved tracking and higher refresh rate are designed to minimize motion sickness. It basically tricks your brain into thinking it's actually moving, which makes the experience smoother.
So no more VR-induced nausea. That's a relief. Now let's talk about the Quest 3S. It's supposed to be the more affordable option, right?
You got it. Think of it as the gateway to VR fun. It's perfect for people who want to try VR without spending a fortune.
So for someone who's curious but not ready to commit to a high-end headset.
Exactly. The Quest 3F still delivers a fantastic VR experience, especially for social stuff and entertainment. Imagine jumping into a virtual concert with friends from all over the world.
That does sound fun, but how does it compare to the Quest 3 visually? I mean, the Quest 3 has that crazy 4K plus display.
You're right, the 3S doesn't have the same resolution, but it uses OLED displays.
OLED.
Yeah, they're known for vibrant colors and deep blacks.
So it's like a trade-off. Super high resolution versus richer colors and contrast.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to personal preference. Do you crave the absolute best visuals and that mind-blowing mixed reality? Or are you more interested in social connection, entertainment, and a wider range of apps?
Lots to think about. And speaking of decisions, we can't forget that Black Friday is just around the corner.
Oh yeah, that's right. Black Friday might be the perfect chance to snag a deal on either the Quest 3 or 3S.
Definitely. We'll be keeping an eye out for those deals. In fact, we'll have links to both headsets in our show notes. Check them out. You can compare prices, see the latest deals.
Maybe even help us out with a purchase or two. We're still a few buys away from our goal this month.
Every little bit helps us keep the show going. But for now, let's dive deeper into what sets these headsets apart. What are some of the key differences beyond resolution?
You bet. There's a lot more to uncover. All right, so let's break down the price difference right out of the gate. The Quest 3 is $499.99 for the 512 gigabit model,
Okay.
whereas the 3S is going to cost you quite a bit less.
Uh-huh.
It's $299 for 128 gigabit.
Okay, so a big difference in price there, but what does that actually mean for storage?
That's a really great question because it highlights who these headsets are for.
Yeah.
For your average everyday VR user, 128 gigabit is plenty.
Okay.
Think of all the games and apps you could fit in there, especially if you're more of a casual user.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to need a ton of storage.
So, like someone who wants to just kind of dip their toes into VR.
Exactly. Someone who wants to hang out with friends, maybe watch a concert or two.
Right.
They don't need to be shelling out the big bucks for extra storage.
But if you're a hardcore gamer or someone who wants to record a lot of VR footage.
Exactly. That's when that 512 gigabit on the Quest 3 starts to look real nice.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, I know we touched on the visuals earlier, but let's dive a little deeper.
Sounds good.
What's the real-world impact of that higher resolution and that wider field of view on the Quest 3?
Picture this.
Yep.
You step into a huge sprawling landscape.
Mm-hmm.
With the Quest 3, every detail is crystal clear.
Oh, wow.
And your peripheral vision is completely filled.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually in the environment.
So it's not just how sharp the picture is.
Right. It's how much of the picture you see.
It's like that feeling when you're actually there.
Exactly. That wider field of view makes it feel so much more real.
It's got to be super immersive.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the things that really sets the Quest 3 apart.
I know some people are a little iffy about this whole mixed reality thing. Yeah.
What do you say to those people who are calling it a gimmick?
I get it. It's definitely still new technology, but the potential is just insane.
Yeah.
Think about having virtual screens all around you while you work.
Okay.
Your email on one screen, a spreadsheet on another, and you can still see everything going on in the real world.
It's like a multi-monitor setup without the monitors.
Exactly. And we're just scratching the surface here.
Wow.
As the technology gets better, we're going to see some wild stuff.
Like what?
Architects walking through their buildings, doctors seeing patient data in 3D, artists creating crazy immersive installations.
Man, the future is wild.
It really is. And the Quest 3 is at the forefront of it all.
So the Quest 3 is for those early adopters who want to be on the cutting edge.
For sure. It's a premium experience for those who are willing to pay a little extra.
Got it. But let's not forget about the Quest 3S.
Right.
It might not have all the fancy features, but it's still a really solid option for VR newcomers.
Oh, absolutely. What are some of the things that make it such a good entry point?
Well, for starters, it's super easy to use.
Okay.
It's lightweight, comfortable, and setup is a breeze.
So anyone can just pick it up and figure it out.
Pretty much. You don't need a fancy PC or anything complicated.
Nice. Just put on the headset and go.
Exactly. Plus, don't forget about that price tag,
Yeah, that $299 is definitely appealing.
especially for someone who's not sure if they're going to love VR yet.
It's a way lower barrier to entry.
Right. You get a really high-quality experience without breaking the bank.
Those OLED displays are no joke.
They really make the colors pop.
Okay, so we know the 3S is great for those new to VR, but we've also talked about its social features.
Yeah.
What makes it such a good headset for connecting with people?
Well, first of all, it's super comfortable to wear for long periods.
Oh, okay.
So you can hang out with your friends in VR for hours.
That's key. Some of those headsets can get heavy after a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, what else?
It also has built-in mics and spatial audio.
So you can chat with your friends and feel like you're actually together.
Exactly. And lastly, it has tons of social apps and games.
Like Meta Horizon Worlds?
Yes. You can explore all sorts of crazy worlds, attend virtual concerts, and do all kinds of fun stuff together.
It's like a whole virtual universe.
It really is.
All right, so we've talked about all the good stuff.
Right.
But we gotta be real.
Yeah.
No tech is perfect.
True that.
What are some of the downsides to these headsets?
Well, we've already mentioned the battery life.
Right, about 2 hours,
Yeah, which can be a little limiting.
especially if you're in the middle of a game.
Luckily, you can get an external battery pack pretty easily.
So problem solved.
Pretty much. It's a small price to pay for more playtime.
For sure.
Now, before we move on, I just want to remind everyone.
Yes.
Black Friday is coming up. We've
So
got links to both headsets down in the description.
check those out.
You can compare prices and maybe even help us out a bit.
3 more buys and we're there.
Okay, so back to the headsets. What are some things people should consider when choosing between the Quest 3 and 3S?
That's a great question. It really comes down to your individual needs and what you want to get out of VR.
Exactly. So it's like picking the right tool for the job.
Yeah. If you want the best of the best, that cutting edge experience, the Quest 3 is the way to go.
Right, if you're all about those crazy visuals, the mixed reality stuff,
If you want to be on the bleeding edge of VR,
that's the Quest 3.
but if you're more of a casual user, maybe you're just getting started with VR.
The 3S is a fantastic option
More affordable, easier to use.
and still a ton of fun.
So let's break it down for our listeners.
Okay.
Let's say you're leaning towards the Quest 3. What are some real-world examples of where it shines?
Imagine stepping into a virtual world that's so realistic it blows your mind.
Okay.
The graphics are incredible. You can reach out and touch things. It's wild.
That's the mixed reality stuff.
Exactly. And it's not just about the visuals. The
Right.
performance is so smooth. It really feels like you're there.
Especially for gamers.
Oh, yeah. Gamers are going to love this thing.
All those big open world games.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect for that.
But it's not just for games, right?
You can use it for work, too.
Like how?
Imagine having a virtual workspace where you can have multiple screens, 3D models, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
And you can collaborate with people in a whole new way.
It's like something out of a movie.
I know, right? Future's pretty awesome.
So the Quest 3 is for those who are ready to jump into that future head first.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about the 3S.
All right.
This one is all about accessibility.
Right. It's easy to use, affordable, and it has a ton of great content.
Perfect for VR newbies.
Yeah, if you're just curious about VR,
Mm-hmm.
this is the perfect way to try it out.
So you don't need a powerful PC or anything like that.
Just the headset and you're good to go.
What are some things people should check out if they get a 3S?
Meta Horizon Worlds is a must-try.
What's that?
It's a huge virtual world where you can meet people, play games, attend events, all kinds of stuff. It's a great way to see what social VR is all about.
And if you're more into movies and shows,
Oh yeah, there are tons of streaming services available.
so you can watch anything you want on a giant virtual screen.
Exactly. And the OLED displays make everything look amazing.
Nice. Now, we've talked about a lot of the positives,
We have.
but we got to be honest, there are some downsides too.
Yeah.
Besides the battery life,
Right.
what are some other things to keep in mind?
Well, VR is still a relatively new technology, so there are some limitations.
Like what?
The realism isn't perfect yet, and there's not as much content as there is for traditional gaming.
So it's not quite the Matrix just yet.
Not yet, but we're getting there. The important thing is to go into it with realistic expectations.
And an open mind.
Exactly. This technology is changing so fast.
It's exciting to see what's next.
It really is.
And speaking of exciting, Black Friday is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. Perfect time to pick up a new headset.
We've got those links in the description.
Check them out. You can compare prices, maybe even help us out a bit.
3 more buys, and we hit our goal.
So if you're thinking about getting into VR,
Now's the time.
whether you choose the Quest 3 or the 3S,
You're in for a treat.
VR is a whole new world of possibilities.
So explore it, have fun.
And let us know what you think.
That's all for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.